check out this beautiful silvery foliage. This is, of course, the Silver Sword Philodendron, Philodendron hastatum, member of the aroid family Araceae. And as you can tell, it is looking great. So I thought it'd be an awesome opportunity to do a video all about this beautiful indoor plant, all of its care and cultural requirements. So, like many philodendrons, it's truly a no-fuss houseplant, and I love it because it has a very tropical vibe, jungly energy wherever you have it growing. You can see it's obviously a climber. I have it growing on this moss pole, and in its native habitats in the South American jungles, it'll climb up 30, 40, 50 feet or more. I've not yet seen them, but fingers crossed I will one day. So let's get right into the plant care. So as I was mentioning, this is a forest dweller. It dwells under the canopy of larger trees. That means it doesn't need to get the brightest, best sunlight possible like your succulents might. But that being said, if you are able to give it more light, it will grow rapidly. In fact, it might even grow too rapidly. It has quickly outgrown this moss pole for me in about like 6 or 9 months, which is a little bit faster than I would have liked it to. By giving it really great lighting, that's truly gonna help retain that silvery foliage. If it's in too low of lighting, it's gonna be much more demure, not nearly as silvery. And what also happens if you don't give it enough lighting, the space between the leaves is gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger as it searches for light. And I don't necessarily like that. I like more of a nice full looking house plant. So you want to give it good lighting to keep that foliage color and also to get a lot of nice density in its growth. Now, because I don't have a well lit area for a plant that takes up this much space, I do have it in a corner that has some grow lights, and that definitely does the trick. Now, it truly is a no fuss plant in terms of the temperature that you want to give it. Any sort of indoor temperatures are going to be fine. In Fahrenheit, my home gets down to like 58 in the cold winter, and then it'll swell up to like 75 in the in the summertime. Anywhere in that range, it's going to be perfect for these guys. Now, one thing that is absolutely necessary is giving it some sort of support structure to climb up. I have videos on how to make moss poles, although I'm kind of over the whole moss pole shtick these days. I will generally just use a wooden rod. You can use a dowel rod, but whatever you use, you want to make sure that wood is weatherized or else that wood will rot. I have had mine rot before, and it can be not on this plant, but on a different plant, and that's a real big hassle. If you like the look of the moss pole, use it by all means. If you like the look of just straight wood, that's great too. If you don't give it anything to climb up, its growth will stagnate and you'll think it's the most frustrating plant in the world. So give it something to climb up. Now, when it comes to its substrate, its potting mix, a bagged houseplant mix is gonna be fine. If you just have like a big bag of potting mix that you use for your outdoor plants, you can use that, like 50% of that, and then add the other 50% would be like a mixture of sphagnum moss, perlite, vermiculite, coco coir to really increase the drainage and also give a little bit of moisture retention in there as well. I have a video that describes how you can make a bunch of different soil substrate mixes for our houseplants. And as an aroid, I have an aroid mix in that video. Check the description below for a link to that video. It's easy to follow. You can get everything ordered and delivered to your house. Now, along with giving it support structure, the next really most important thing is to give it the appropriate pot size. Most of our tropical houseplants, as they come from these jungly areas with tons of root competition, they need to be grown in a small pot in order for them to really feel like they're at home. So you can see I have this is like a 6-inch pot, but a plant that's like 4 feet tall. It seems like it should be in a larger pot, but you don't want it to be in a larger pot. You really want those roots to be filling out that pot. So if you have it in a small container and you're waiting to transplant it to the next size container, just pop it out of that pot. And if its roots are starting to really fill out, maybe even circle around the bottom of the pot a little bit, that's gonna be your cue to pot it up to the next size. And when we're talking about the next size container, that means about 1 to 2 inches bigger than it previously was in. So as a 6-inch pot, the next size container for me would be like a 7 or 8-inch pot. You never want to go from a 6-inch pot to like a 12-inch pot. That's not going to be good. Now, assuming you have the correct size container, you have the right soil substrate, you're giving it the appropriate amount of lighting, generally that means you're gonna need to water about once a week. It's really easy. If you get the other three things correct, the watering is going to take care of itself. And I will generally opt to allow them to dry pretty much all the way out between watering. So for me, that's about once a week. If you have it in a really bright room and it gets really warm, maybe once every 5 days. If it's a little bit cooler in the wintertime here, I'll probably do it once every 10 or 12 days. So that's a general rule of thumb. Stick your finger into the soil. If it feels moist, then that means don't water it. Wait till it dries out to give it more water. And then you can also use a nice balanced fertilizer. I use this one, Roberta's Bounty, on all of my houseplants. You can also find that in the description below if you want to use it. I'll do it about once a quarter. So that's like once every 3 months, I will give them some fertilizer, some liquid food. And one of the things that is unique about these plants is they will flower pretty freely. The flowers are a little bit inconspicuous. They're not super showy. These guys they've been waiting to open. They've been like forming for the last like 6 to 8 weeks. And I've been waiting for them to open before filming this, but I couldn't wait any longer. So I finally just, maybe I'll edit it back in, but they do have cool little white aroid flowers. But I will generally just cut them off when I see them forming, because that is going to allow the plant to continue focusing its energy on the foliage rather than on the flowers. And for me, it's about the foliage. And when it comes to foliage, when it starts to look a little bit like this, maybe it's just a little bit old. This has probably been here for honestly 2 years. I don't even know. This is a pretty old plant. I'll just go and cut them off and get rid of it. Now do note, these are toxic to dogs and cats, so you don't want your animals eating them. And in terms of propagation, it is a very simple propagation method. I don't want to cut mine, don't make me cut it right now. So I'll just describe how to do it. It's as easy as propagating a monstera or any other philodendron. You just want to cut off about a 6-inch stem and include at least one node. A node is where basically those leaves will come out of. And so you would cut about right here, and then you would remove all but 1 or 2 leaves, stick it in water, allow it to root, and then once it roots, then you can pot it up. And that's pretty much all that you need to know about growing the silver sword. It's an awesome house plant. I've had this for about probably 3 or 4 years. It's really low key. Oh, and do note that they do have like some stickiness that comes out of the stems. It's totally normal with these guys. Other plants, if they had like stickiness, I'd be a little concerned, but not with the silver sword. So if you do have stickiness along your stems, behind the leaves, no worries, it's totally normal. And with that, now you know everything you need to know about growing your silver sword. But if you do have any further questions, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. We got tons of houseplant videos, tons of outdoor videos, everything about plants. We love them. Catch you guys soon. Ciao.